We are here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, ready for the start of the Quaker State 67. I am joined here with my co-host Connor Meyer.
Hello.
And we have a Toyota on pole today. This is Brett Pritchard in the number 51 Bang Energy Drink Toyota, starting alongside Russ Blackwell in the 55 Chevy.
And then starting third, we have the number 35 Toyota of Timmy Weathers and the number 95 of Quinn Izzo.
And behind those two drivers, we got a pair of Dodges. Anissa Johnson and her teammate Aaron Douglas start side by side at the Western Auto Racing Powerhouse.
And then another Dodge, the 91 of Tim Salmon, alongside the Toyota of David Walsh.
And that Toyota is his teammate, that is Connor Meyer in ninth in that XYO Network Toyota Camry, next to Big Man in his Auto Insurers Dodge from Matco Motorsports.
And we have the highest qualifying Ford, the number 12 of Aaron Gabron, alongside of the 62 of Joseph Onesto.
And behind Onesto, we have the 79 of Osborne turning with Kyle Keith, and the 42 of May.
And behind them is the number 18 of Chris Davis and the 99 of Todd Castile.
Behind Castile, we have Austin Yoakum and the number 10 Red Bull Toyota next to Titus Strolaver in his 88 Dodge.
And we have the number 60 of Ryan DeLusso and the number 72 of Kenny Bombera.
And behind Bombera, we have two best in the world racing Fords. That is Chris Moore and the Penske 30, starting next to Evan Coward and the Craftsman Ford.
Then we have the number 1 of Thor Gunderson and the number 36 of Joey Sanders.
Behind Sanders and Gunderson, we have Trent McPherson and the Royal Purple Dodge, starting next to Scott Peters and his Select Line 37.
And then we have the number 92 of Caitlin Marie alongside of the 24 of Scott Porter.
On the side, behind Porter, that is Brendan Cresta in his 63 Gear Wrench Ford, and Tony Jonathan Rains in the 77 Dr. Pepper.
And then we have the number 87 of Luis McClure and the number 19 of Jay Langelier.
And behind Langelier is Elusive Man and Rick Johnson.
And we have the number 22 of Brad Smith and the 93 of Kevin Campbell.
Andrew Weisbecker in the Aftershock Chevy next to the 5 of J.R. Leonard.
And then rounding out the field, we have the number 9 of Ben Thomas and the 86 of Arthur Xavier.
As you can see, those two just towards the back, those cars before were actually running pretty quick. Right now we are currently awaiting the commands to fire up the engines after a quite a turn of events to start off the chase season coming from Homestead. What's going to be on your mind as far as keeping your cars up front?
Just got to stay ahead of the Dodge cars. That's the main thing. With Aaron Douglas winning last week, giving Dodge one of those cars in the final, you need to just beat them.
There has been the talks in the garage, of course. That is Toyota versus Dodge. Toyota may have twice the amount of wins that Dodge has, but then Dodge almost has twice the amount of poles that they've been given the commands. Quite interesting across both of these two manufacturers. There's a total of 47 DNFs. 27 of those Dodge, 20 of them coming from Toyota. But I mean, the stats don't lie. These cars race hard, they're competitive. There's reasons for each of them, and I think we're going to have quite a show tonight because of that.
Oh, definitely. But Dodge's stats kind of inflated in the polls because Thor Gunderson has 4 of those 5.
I mean, pole is a pole. He's raced his heart out in the beginning and middle part of the season. That for a while he was for sure getting a win with that new sponsor, but they've been lackluster since then. He's still in the chase though.
He's currently sitting 7th in the chase. Top 10 moves on to the final at Texas.
As we approach that, it's every driver's goal right now to snag up a win and do what they can. The only driver locked into Texas is Aaron Douglas from Western Auto Racing, his Royal Purple Dodge. Every driver's going to try and also get their own piece of that tonight. Pace car dips down. We are about to take the green flag. Brett Pritchard is going to lead us to the start of the race. The first time FARCA has ever been at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here we go. No sense of waiting. Those Toyotas storm right up to the lead. 2 races ago was won by the 35 Dude Wise. There he is making his move.
Yeah, that win 2 weeks ago is what put him in the chase.
And with the extra help of equipment from the main tertiary team of Meyer Toyota Racing, that team has had absolutely no struggles. They've been very consistent since this crossover. He's currently blocked
55. 55 kind of looked around the 51. Wasn't able to complete the pass. Now the 95 is working on the 55.
That is Russ Blackwell in his Lucas Oil Chevrolet. This driver, winless, goalless, has been consistent in the past about 5 or 6 races, I can say now. And he's been really good. He just hasn't had a chance to capitalize on much.
He actually does have 1 pole, but only 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s.
All of that, though, would need a good chance for it to come around. Brett Pritchard still leading this thing.
Now he also does forward DFs.
That probably was one of the main reasons why he was not in the chase itself. The miss of the most amount of consistency and then the DNFs is not a good recipe. However, it doesn't necessarily hinder it. We do have a couple drivers with 4 DNFs in the chase.
And one of those being Austin Yoakum, who also had 2 wins.
Yoakum having kind of a struggling day today. The 10 car currently sitting in the 15th position. Drivers have never been to this track before, so it's going to be quite a challenge.
Yeah, it's almost hard to believe that FARC has never been to this track.
They had some accidents on the first years of testing back in the old Generation 4 body. Just never brought the cars back since then. After racing
In fact, Las Vegas almost didn't get added this season. They were a late addition to the schedule.
Yes, after Sonoma dropped within the past few weeks, they were certainly quite a track this weekend too. Did a couple of test races here. Ended up being a good fit, hence why we're racing this weekend. Don't forget, next weekend we do the last race on the West Coast.
It's Auto Club, their second race.
The night race at Auto Club Speedway. That will definitely be quite an entertaining race. That track is pretty much a super speedway for our package.
And then after Auto Club, we swing all the way to the East Coast and go to Daytona.
It'll be the last super speedway of this season, which of course never fails to provide some sort of drama or entertainment.
And that's the cutoff for Texas.
Texas is where we've always had our better finishes, so it'll definitely be a good race to go to. We're watching Anissa Johnson here in her Parts America Dodge. She's second in this second pack of cars.
She's currently sitting in the 9th chase spot.
Good transfer spot with a good top 10 finish today. She knows she could be able to keep that up. The closest chase driver currently that's winless and needs to win for the transfer spot is our leader. That's Brett Pritchard's reset. He would like to have this locked in secured. And likewise, Akeem has said, this is the only driver to ever win a championship in the FARCA Racing Series, and he is asserting some dominance today after a arguably rough race at Homestead.
Yeah, he's currently sitting 12th, but if he wins this race, he's locked in. And even a top 10 will help him get to that.
At this point, that's really all he would need is to get a couple top 5s, and he would be definitely secured to this. The chase drivers that were struggling out of this Chevrolet group out of the Keith Motorsport franchise. And while we speak to them, let's go ahead and check in on where they are sitting currently on the racetrack. This is the 42 car of Kyle Keith. He's currently in the 16th position. He definitely did not have the best race following last week. He's going quite a few points behind. The next driver of that in this organization is the 24 car, who is having a very much so lackluster day. He is currently sitting in the 30th spot, 6 seconds off pace.
It's definitely not looking good for either of those cars right now. And Keith has 2 wins on the season, so it's kind of surprised to see him struggling.
Could be an issue internally, team-wise, as to why they're not doing so hot. Driver who's been on about a bit of a rebound and trying to make up ground. That's Connor Meyer in the 29 car. He has been in this thing winless, and he's trying to make that turn around. Every week he seems to just be doing a little bit better, taking notes from the Supreme Motorsports teams and even using one of their bodies today.
He's one of the 5 drivers in the chase that doesn't have a win.
Made it in by the last race, was able to secure a spot in those last couple races, and retained the last points spot during the cutoff race at Charlotte Motor Speedway following an accident on lap 9. Was able to recover and finish 14th and secure his spot in the 16th chase seed. And after racing hard with the damaged car, he's got more than that to prove that he's worthy for this, and he's shown it tonight.
And we desperately need the top 10.
Working his way around teammate David Walsh, coming up more towards the front. We have a little pack of cars. Aaron currently working on the 55 of Russ Blackwell, trying to move around and underneath him to try and catch Brett Pritchard, teammate Dodge of his affection number. That's Big Man. He's behind him. Team Motorsports car, the 62. He's moving up as well.
Team Motorsports had a lot of issues last week.
Despite having issues, they still completely managed to keep their 3 cars, all of them, into the chase. I believe they're the only team that has their whole organization in the chase.
That would be correct.
So they've got something else to prove. They made it also in by the last few races. Out of nowhere, with a good strike of consistency and finishes, they were able to move in, and now they have a chance to prove it, that why they are there. Really good effort for them to pass this race so far.
They had only one win between those three cars in that race organization.
That's impressive. But the fact they only made it in with one win for the whole team. As he makes a move underneath the 8's not enough. There's a lot of grip on that outside line. And this is about the closest I've seen the 55 get to the 51 of Brett Pritchard. Seems like these drivers can really capitalize and get close, but they just can't get in underneath them enough to make the pass.
And he's doing a really good job of holding all these other cars off.
Definitely has. This is, of course, one of the most legendary drivers in our series. Of our 4th season moving on with this, he has definitely proved he is one of the best.
He has the most top 5s and the most top 10s in the history of the league.
He's about to secure another spot in both of those, and maybe even a win if he keeps up this consistency. These drivers trying to still tackle the only driver to ever 4P to win, and that's Francie Davis. She still resides as the duck queen of the sport.
But actually, with Aaron Douglas's win last week, that puts him one win behind tying Francie for the most wins.
Quite close, and as he tries to make a pass underneath, he would like to go ahead and tie and get around that. That would be quite the names of bonus to pass her. Not many drivers can even do that, let alone get a second win, to which we've actually had 3 this season.
There's 2 other drivers in this field that could tie her, and that's the 99 of Todd Castile and the 42 of Kyle Keith.
Kyle is definitely a driver, which, of course, right now they're in a little bit of a slump, but that doesn't mean he's anything of a good battle. Short of being a good driver, so he for sure can. Todd, he hasn't had a good team this year. Maybe next year he could turn around and capitalize on that as well.
Oh, 55 caught up to the 51 and just wasn't able to do anything about it.
Not too much. He is trying, certainly for sure. The 8 trying to get around the 21 was completely unable to. A lot of these drivers, especially after the crazy few weeks we've had, are trying to keep their stuff good and just get a good finish before we head to Auto Club in Daytona, which they know we're also going to be races that are going to mess up their equipment. This is about
and one car up there looking for a good finish, that 95 of Quinn Izzo. Not in the chase, but he's showing that he could have a full-time ride next year.
He's hustled from ride to ride all season long, struggled and tried to do what he can with what equipment was thrown at him. Finally given good equipment, riding to almost a top 5 today. Quinn may have finally found his home. Just as we were talking about earlier, there's the 29 of Connor Meyer trying to get a top 10 as he moves around the 35. One of the few cars that's been able to pass tonight. that does say something about his car if he can get up there in enough time.
Looks like might need a caution or something to really help out.
He moves to the 9th position. That's back to the position where he started at. So he's got a good long run car. Good effort today from the 12 car. Usually these Fords suffer big time. They've had kind of an okay day, not really having too many issues. The only driver that is currently out was the 87 Luis McClure, had an engine failure.
But no, speaking of the 12, he's the only Ford in the chase. And he's been the most consistent Ford pretty much all season.
Won the first race at Daytona International Raceway to start the season off. Came into the season headstrong and then struggled for about the mid-season wise, but other than that, he's been able to keep at least a good amount of consistency and was able to stay in enough to get to the points. Trying to go for a win, but every time he gets there, something seems to happen. Again, as we were talking about this guy who was currently riding in the 8th spots now. On a bike, moves up again.
Behind him, a couple of Dodges, the 91 and the 18.
On-track reporter just spoke with him over the radio saying that the car is fast. They have plenty of handling on the inside and outside line, having no issues today. He says he's got a car to win if they can get into a place to get there. You know, he's got to catch this next pack, but he's already broken away from the pack he was racing with. He definitely does have a winning car today. He just needs to get ahead of these other cars. Track position for him is key tonight.
Definitely. Trying to catch that next pack, though, is going to be probably the biggest test of that car.
We'll have to see what can happen. His next hope is to hope for a caution and for it to not be him that brings it out. His teammate, though, the 51, is currently leading the pack still, and the 95 trying to go for the top 5. Meyer Toyota having a good race tonight. Big man was
in fact, Toyota's trying to stop a trend of Dodge winning 2 in a row.
Yes, that has always been the case. Every time Dodge has won, they've got 2 races in a row. The first time was the Manco Motorsports twins. They both won races back to back. And then it was the 86 and Aaron Douglas. Aaron won last week and repeated. And is currently 4th. But as of tonight, we have not had a single Dodge win.
51 has led all the laps so far.
It's been all Toyota. It's been all Brett Pritchard racing nice and hard tonight. The last Toyota driver to do that was at Kansas. I believe it was at Kansas Motor Speedway. That was Joey Sanders, and he won his race.
I believe that was Dover.
Dover, that's right.
Sanders started from pole, led almost all the laps, and won the race.
Car right here, Benjamin Thomas as one of the 2 Quaker State cars for our Quaker State event tonight. However, unfortunately, these 2 cars are doing the best. We have 26 of the 9 and 29 of the 19.
That's kind of surprising because the nine car has finished in the top 10 the last 2 weeks in a row.
He actually got I believe it was another top 10 last week, one he's had this entire season. Was coming off a couple of good races. Unfortunately, tonight has just been another struggle of him. He was fastest in first practice, but wasn't able to keep that momentum going into the race.
Now, there is rumors swirling around that he might leave Dodge and shut down the team.
So, leaving Dodge, which is kind of surprising. He's been almost in denial about how the team's performance has been. At first, he was thinking about switching off drivers and saying it's the manufacturer and everything, but we shall see. Still with a great performance tonight coming out of the Meyer Toyota organization. He did lead past the halfway point, which then deems him again another bonus point. Quite a lot of bonus points he has coming out of this race tonight. Most laps, midway, led a lap, and potentially even winning this race. That's awesome for him to be able to secure. He would be the only driver getting bonus points tonight.
I'm trying to get max points today.
Exactly what he needs. That'll set him up big time. Of course, doesn't really affect him too much going into Texas. They will do a complete reset. While we have a nice opportunity to be able to, we'll go ahead and go over that. What will happen when we get to Texas? The field will cut from 16 cars to 10 cars. Those 10 cars will automatically start first to 10th. Those 10 cars do not necessarily qualify. They'll be in selected random order to where they will go up, pull a chip, whatever number is on that chip is going to be their starting position. Entirely randomized, and they will start the race from there. And they will have their single race shootout, those 10 drivers, to win the race and the championship together. And nice dive right there as we saw from the 21 of Aaron. He knows he's got a nice fast car. He's trying to move around big man, knowing he couldn't get around the 55.
There are a couple of Dodgers going at it.
They're trying to do what they can because they want to get up there and win this thing. They want to keep that streak going. Moved around the lap car right there, Jonathan Rains towards the 6th or 10th positions.
Second group is kind of catching them back into that first group now.
Something I'm curious about yet is we have not seen our green flag pit stops.
They're going to have to happen soon. I don't know how far they can go, but you have to think they're reaching close to the end.
They're going to need to have tires or steel at some point. The question is when they will drop and who will go where.
These three cars right here, the 21, the 62, and the 8, have been going at it for the last few laps.
They really have. I've been keeping my eye on them, just trying to figure out what they're trying to do. There goes somebody making a move, and it's the 21, but got loose entering that corner. Just kind of hoping he'd be able to move something on that. Now he's trying to
Catch
block
right back up.
62 and the 8.
About 19 laps to go, and they still haven't pitted yet.
They're slowing down. Something happened to somebody, and wow, the 93 has got some damage.
Well, that answers the pit stop question.
And it looks like, wow, we had quite the pileup. How did I miss that? Because they were quite far back, and we might have had a car go upside down. That is Justin Osborne out of the 79 organization. Looks like we were telling people, they got to do it. He blew a tire going into turn 1. Got hit by the 37 of Scott Vickers and the 77 of Trenton McPherson and flipped. A lot of these cars just had nowhere to go and piled into this corner. They had just absolute train wreck.
And chase driver Scott Porter involved.
Two chase drivers, Osborne, Scott Porter, Rick Johnson. Here comes the 2 car, the 86. Looks like they tried to avoid the pace car and the wreck, and also had pretty much nowhere to go. That's where he hit the 79 again. He snagged it right there. 86 locking up the brakes, but was able to get around. That's unfortunate for Big Rick Johnson. A lot of cars there damaged. 2 chase drivers. Bad luck. Still hangs for the 24. Not much damage though, but still. But that's where this will change a lot of things up. As far as pitting goes, who will pit where and when, because all these drivers know they have to at least once before the end. At least Russ Blackwell currently leading. The 51, 21, and others already pitted. Drivers who didn't, 99, 60, 35, 30, and the 55. I don't think a caution will do too much on fuel saving wise. We'll have to see what their plans will be. One thing I am honestly concerned about is 9th place. Procrasta is in front of a lot of chase drivers right there.
Yeah, that's a scary thought considering how unlucky he's been.
So Chevy out here trying to show another dominating performance. They did pretty decent in the past race. Trying to at least show something and get something else up here. Another driver who just missed the chase and was shy of it. That is Todd Castile in his Lordco 99. We were just talking about him actually earlier about being able to potentially tie about that win strategy, and here he is.
Yeah, he was involved in that really early wreck.
Do you spy that Toyota currently in the grass? That is, I believe, David Walsh with a blown engine. Yes, that is David Walsh out of Meyer Toyota Racing. Motor just let go. Interesting thing about cars also trying to make it around, it was a leaky fuel cell as well in 93. 5 car went out for the motor being blown as well throughout that whole predicament. And now, of course, the 15 that leaves us with only 29 cars.
It's crazy what one wreck will do.
And then, of course, you have, that's at least one failure from each side of the Dodge and Toyota departments, engine-wise. They each have let one go tonight. Highest Toyota is 95, and Quinn Izo. Quite surprising to see Quinn, Todd, and Russ up here.
It's 3 drivers that, when they have luck, it's usually bad luck.
We'll see what happens as we get towards the end of this one. Pace car is now ducking down. We are about to head back to green flag. Russ Blackwell will take us away. Every time I have said that, he has not been able to complete the race, but we shall see what happens. Less than 20 laps to go. We might have a new winner tonight.
And it might not even be a chase driver.
We got 3 non-chasers racing right here in front of a big pack of chase drivers. We have DeLusso, Weathers, Marie, Pritchard, Douglas, Mann, Johnson. So 60. Bunch of them all packed up right there. And they're bumper to bumper too. 21 pushing Crasta through the corner, telling him to get the hell out of the way.
Situations like this where the 63 usually gets wrecked.
It certainly does. Not really a good spot for Crasta to be in. Trying to make a call on the end of this race for some track position, but man, does it upsetting part of the line tight and freight train on that outside line. We still have these 3 of the non-winners, so somebody is going to get this tonight. The question is just going to be who will do it. They are quite close to each other, all 3 of these cars. Really want to capitalize as they go try to attempt a 3-wide entry into the corner. Todd makes the move on the 95. He's trying to get that 3rd win tonight in his Lordco 99. The 60 chase driver, he also has much more important things on the line. He pushes the 95 into the corner. He's got headway to make. That's got to be frustrating. You know that your race is a little more important than theirs, and they're holding you up.
They're just in the way.
Pushes the 60 back out of the way. They're going door to door each and every single lap, and it's been frustrating, but it's letting the 55 take his time and getting away from the field. Sneaking up is Finley Marie and the 92. And the 51.
Yeah, held back pretty much all race, and then up here in the top 5.
Might come down to the wire. We'll have to see what happens. Chase drivers are getting antsy towards this back part of the pack. The 8 just pushed the 51 getting into this corner. He wants a win. 60 was able to complete around the 99, and 95 has backed off to regain with his teammates. Meanwhile, these three Chevys being absolutely dominant tonight.
'99 trying to get his 4th win.
He's really trying. Todd is hustling as he can. To the back bumper of the 60, they're doing whatever they can to try and catch the 55. We have less than 10 laps to go. The 60 has caught the 55, but nobody has ever been able to pass for the lead yet tonight. Can the 60 make that change? Here he goes. He's going to try and go for the lead. 55 makes it stick on the outside. They will go door to door. We have our first attempt for the pass in the lead. That is a chase driver going for the lead. Denying all hope of those winless drivers. That is the 60 out of Team Motorsports.
But don't count out the 99 just yet.
No, he is there and he is hungry with less than 10 laps to go. Don't count out Toyota just yet. Keep in mind we have the hungry Brett Pritchard. The 95 just brake checked the 8. Wow, that could have gotten dangerous. Look at Brett passing these cars. Look at that. 2 passes on the straightaway. Outstanding move. It's going to be Toyota versus Chevy.
He's led all the laps so far, and he wants to lead the last one too.
He definitely is trying and making a push after that outstanding lap made by Brett Pritchard, despite Todd having the fastest lap tonight. It's going to be all Brett Pritchard versus Beluso in the 60. He's speaking towards the inside and pushing his back bumper. He is there. That is your previous champion, making an intimidating move in that bright day glow 51. Over the radio, they are calm, cool, and collected. The 60 with a slight brake check going into the corner, being aggressive as he possibly can. The question is, though, has the 51 used up his tires or has he not?
He's just waiting to find the right time to pass the 60.
Oh yeah, he's pacing himself. He's being smart about this. Wow, what's going on? The 60, he may be out of fuel. He might be out of gas. We have 3 cars coming in right now. Our driver's currently out of fuel. Brett Pritchard leading the race after the 99, 92, 95 had to break in for gas, I would assume.
And the 60 also.
It's a splash and go. And I think they underestimated how much they had towards the win. That makes me wonder if he has enough gas. He's staying out. The 51 car is staying out. Look at this. From the back of the pack, Benjamin Thomas is in 2nd place.
Now, if the 51 slips up, that's Ben's win.
That could definitely be this. I am surprised. Ben started 2nd to last and is in the 2nd spot right now. Great effort.
He ran at the back all day, too.
Here's the 62, the other Team Motorsports cars. He has to capitalize on a mistake made from his teammate. They're coming to the white flag, though. It is currently all Brett Pritchard with this right strategy, with getting the pole. He has shown tonight he is definitely a class act. Yoakum, Sanders, Johnson, all these other drivers racing their hearts out. getting ready to come around out of the final round. This is turn 4. Checkered flag is waving. Brett Pritchard had just enough gas to not run out of fuel and will win at the first race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Benjamin Thomas following behind him with Team Motorsports cars as well. Well, I didn't really see drivers running out of fuel. I knew they splashed gas, but I didn't know they would run out. And it was to our leader.
You know, I was kind of wondering, though, maybe that's why the 51 was able to make those passes on the 99.
Had plenty for it and just kept it gunning through the corners. He had a really fast car all night long. Also great efforts, though, to the 36, who finished 4th, and Yoakum in 5th. But damn, I mean, great move for the team-wise for the 51, but shout-out time to Lubricar Motorsports. Benjamin Thomas finishing 2nd after his 9 car started in 39th.
This is 3rd straight top 10.
I think that was his first top 5. And he was catching the 51 too. Those last 2 laps, he was gaining about 0.2 of a second every lap. He had a car. Track position is.
Unfortunately, it was just too little, too late for him.
Unfortunately, that just happens. Here in Gatorade Victory Lane, though, we do have the 51 car. So congratulations to Meyer Toyota Racing. Brett Pritchard, you are another repeat winner in a single season. That's the 4th car to do that this season. We've never had anything like that. He will add to his already amazing stats that he has had going on this entire career of his. And he, too, is locked into Texas Motor Speedway, where he will defend his unacclaimed championships. Nobody has been able to beat him, and he is making that statement true again this season. We'll have to see what happens next week as we head into Auto Club. What have you got to say? You've got a driver locked in getting another championship.
Yeah, and 4 or 5 Toyotas in the top 10. That's definitely a great race. Shame the 92 ended up having to pit.
It quite is. She wound up, at least because the other drivers from the wreck, she didn't do at least too bad. That she finished in 23rd, so that could have been a lot worse for her. Got your car into the top 10, so at least that's good. My car 27 finished in the 6th, so that's another good finish for her. I need to keep that car going. So a lot of these teams working hard. Team Motorsports, they really try. They knew they don't have exactly winning cars, so they tried different strategies to win, and it almost paid off for them.
Yeah, they still got a top 3 with one of their cars.
Podium finish is never bad. They need to keep that going on into the next race. We will be heading to the night race at Auto Club Speedway. We will see you guys at the next race. Thank you guys for tuning in once again here on Speed Channel. Have a good one.